How you doing, everybody? My name is Dr. Sami Baya. Please welcome back to my YouTube channel. They are triggered by your silence and it has them wondering and stressed out about it. That's the title of this video. They are triggered by your silence and it's like a storm they can't predict. The absence of words speaks volumes to them, yet they can't decipher the message. The quiet stretches on longer than they anticipated, and with every passing second, they feel the weight of their own uncertainty. It's not the absence of sound they fear, it is the vast unknown that lingers in the spaces between. Each moment of silence amplifies their thoughts, leaving them wondering if they've done something wrong or if something else is at play. Their minds race through countless possibilities, each scenario more dramatic than the last. They start to second guess their actions, wondering if they missed some signal, some hidden cue that would have explained everything. Maybe it's something they said, or perhaps it's something they failed to say, but the truth remains locked away in the stillness. They feel like they are fumbling in the dark, unable to find the right words, unable to bridge the gap between what's left unsaid and what needs to be heard. As they continue to dwell on the silence, they begin to question the stability of the connection. Was there something fragile holding it together? Something that has now snapped under the pressure of the quiet? The silence has created a void where words once flowed, and in that void, doubt begins to creep in. It is the type of anxiety that settles deep within, gnawing at them with every passing hour. The silence is no longer just an absence of sound. It is a presence in itself, a presence that looms larger with every unanswered moment. They try to fill the silence with their own thoughts, but that only leads to more confusion. Their mind becomes a chaotic place, bouncing from one fear to the next. Did they say too much, or did they say too little? Every action, every word seems to have been magnified and scrutinized in their mind. They can't escape the spiraling thoughts that swirl in the quiet, and they long for a resolution that seems just out of reach. The tension grows as they imagine the worst case scenarios. Maybe you are upset with them and the silence is your way of showing it. Or maybe you've lost interest altogether and the silence is just the precursor to a goodbye. They can't help but imagine all the ways the relationship could unravel, with the silence acting as the harbinger of something far worse. Each passing minute feels like a countdown, and they are anxiously waiting for the moment when you finally break the silence, whether with reassurance or with the harsh truth. But then there's the self-doubt that creeps in. Maybe they've been too needy, too demanding of your attention. Perhaps the expectations were too high, and now they are being punished with this silence as a way of teaching them a lesson. They ask themselves if they've been too much to handle, too overwhelming in their presence, and now the consequence is the silence that feels like a personal rejection. The silence doesn't feel like peace to them. It feels like a test, one they might be failing. And yet, despite all the worrying, there's a part of them that clings to hope. What if the silence is not a sign of something bad, but of something deeper? What if it's simply a moment of reflection, a chance for both of you to process your thoughts and feelings? Maybe they are overthinking it, reacting too strongly to something that is, in reality, completely benign. They wish they could believe that, but every minute that passes only strengthens the nagging feeling that they are being pushed away. In moments of quiet, the emotions are a tangled web. The silence isn't just a lack of noise. It's a mirror reflecting their vulnerabilities and insecurities. It exposes the rawness of their fears, and they wonder if you feel the same. They wish they could read your mind, understand what's going on beneath the surface, but all they have are the echoes of their own thoughts bouncing back at them. The longer the silence lasts, the more they feel like they are losing touch with reality. They find themselves constantly checking their phone, hoping for a message that will break the silence. Each time it doesn't ring or vibrate, the anxiety builds. Are you avoiding them? Do you want to be left alone? These questions seem endless, and the longer they go unanswered, the more consumed they become by their own worries. They check their messages, scroll through their conversations, looking for any clue, any hint that might explain what's happening. But it's like searching for something that's already slipped through their fingers. The silence isn't just uncomfortable, it is suffocating. It makes their heart race, their thoughts cloud over. It feels like a weight on their chest that won't lift. Like they're trapped in a room with no door. They want to reach out, to say something, anything, but the silence has made them cautious. They don't want to say the wrong thing. They don't want to make things worse. But in doing nothing, they wonder if they are already doing damage. They fear that the silence is a sign of something irreparable gnaws at them. They wonder if they've crossed a line, if something unspoken has changed the dynamics of your relationship permanently. They think back to the last conversation, trying to pinpoint the exact moment when things shifted, when the easy flow of words turned into a heavy, oppressive quiet. But it's impossible to tell. The more they think, the more elusive the answer becomes. There's a strange power in silence, one they've never fully understood until now. It is the kind of power that makes them feel small and insignificant, like they're being erased without even knowing why. They try to push the thoughts aside, but the silence keeps calling them back, reminding them of the uncertainty that lingers between you two. It's a dance, a back and forth that they can't quite figure out. And the longer it goes on, the more it pulls at them. They question their own behavior too. Could they have misread the situation? Was there something in their actions that caused you to retreat into silence? It feels like a personal failure, like they've somehow messed up something that could have been so simple. They're torn between wanting to reach out and fix it, and fearing that any attempt to do so will make things worse. Every option seems fraught with risk, and they don't know which direction to take. The silence has started to eat away at their confidence. They feel unsure of themselves, of what they should do, of what you want from them. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff, not knowing whether to jump or retreat. Their mind becomes a battlefield, with every thought and feeling fighting for attention. Some of them say to wait, to give you space. Others say to act now, to break the silence before it's too late. It is exhausting trying to manage the whirlwind of emotions and thoughts that the silence has triggered. The mental toll is draining, and it's hard to focus on anything else. Everything feels overshadowed by the fear of the unknown, by the growing distance between you and them. They wish they could just pick up the phone, send a message, say something. But the fear of what your silence means keeps them frozen in place. But through it all, there is a desperate longing for resolution. They want to hear your voice again, to break free from this uneasy limbo. They want to understand what's happening, why the silence feels so heavy, and whether it can be undone. Every moment that passes without a word only deepens their sense of frustration and confusion. The silence is like a puzzle they can't solve, and the longer they stay in it, the more pieces seem to disappear. They are desperate for clarity, but the silence offers nothing but ambiguity. They feel lost, wandering in circles, unsure of where to go or what to do next. All they can do is wait for a sign, for a message, for the moment when you finally speak again. But with every passing second, the silence becomes a little more unbearable. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you.